Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Red Beard. It's a damn fine day to talk about a book. And today we're here for a book review, and we're going to talk about Pieces of Hate by Tim Lebbon. I've been following Tim Lebbon loosely since like the Leisure Horror days, way back in the Leisure Horror Book Club. If you don't know anything about that, look that up. But part of a club, get 2 books a month sent to you, and yeah, this is kind of, back in the, I don't want to say pre-internet, but kind of. On that note, I was also in Netflix back when Netflix sent you DVDs in the mail. So that's how old I am. But anyway, this particular book, I picked it up on a whim. Well, not really on a whim because I knew Tim Lebbon, but I was going to Pango Books to buy another book, and the seller had this, and it was only like $2. It's short. It's a novella. It's from Necessary Evil Press. It came out in, let's see here real quick. It came out in 2005, but it's a signed limited edition to 450 copies. So that was pretty cool to pick that up for $2. Yeah, so this is a pirate story. I mean, it's a somewhat of a horror story, but really there's not any horrific elements other than the um magical elements, but then just the absolute horrific nature of pirates in general. It's not your Pirates of the Caribbean romanticized version of these, for lack of a better way of putting it, filthy, dirty, rotten scoundrels. The prostitutes at Port Royal were not they were not the Hollywood beautiful version that maybe you've seen. I mean, lice ridden. Yeah. Anyway, I mean, tooth loss. So anyway, but so it's a pirate story, but it's about 2 characters, Gabriel and Temple. Now, what I didn't know on picking this up is that this is a sequel. It's kind of a sequel to a sequel, and Brian Keene does the introduction. He talks about that. I mean, now you can read it standalone for sure because I did, but honestly, when I was reading the introduction, I almost put it down because I was like, "Oh, this is a sequel." But it's a sequel to Dead Man's Hand, which was published in 2004, which is of a sorts a sequel to Tim's first novel, Mesmer, which was published in 1997. So, my understanding is these characters, Gabriel and Temple, Temple is the bad guy, Gabriel's the good guy, have been basically fighting across time, like six centuries or something. And we get a lot of history in this particular book about Gabriel and about his first meeting with Temple and about Temple basically destroying his village and killing his family. And his entire existence at this point is seeking revenge, and he is tracked and fought Temple again across the centuries. Brian Keene said anywhere that there is war or violence or just really, really bad people, Temple will show up there. So while this book left a lot out, I'm assuming about the origins of these characters and what their abilities actually are. It did give a bit of a backdrop on Gabriel himself, and I guess kind of the initial meeting of the two. So we open. Gabriel's a passenger on a pirate ship. They're heading towards Port Royal. He's tracking Temple. Feels very much like Roland chasing the Man in Black across the desert. Feels like we've done this forever, and we fought. We have fought with Temple multiple times, but we have been unable to kill him, and our scars. We are scarred from these previous fights, and these scars burn. I mean, they physical pain when we get closer to Temple's location. We know Temple's going to Port Royal. He's actually going to kill Captain Morgan. I don't know if it's it might be the captain. It's Captain Henry Morgan. Is that Captain Morgan on the bottle of rum? Maybe, I don't know. but he's going to kill Captain Morgan, and we're trying to not necessarily stop that, but catch Temple in the act and take care of him. So, and that's really the gist of this. Like I said, very very, I guess maybe realistic, dark look at pirates. No romanticism here. Uh, you know, uh, look at Port Royal and the absolute debauchery of the place, and that's really kind of it. I will say that, well, I won't say, but again, you've got two characters that I'm assuming other stories are built off of. I don't know. So really, at the end of the day, we know that. All right, this is a spoiler. We know that Gabriel's not going to get his revenge here. He's not going to rid the world of Temple. Um, so they're somewhat immortal. Now that I don't have the details on. This book did not really give me those details. We know that Gabriel can heal really fast from wounds. He got stabbed in the leg and it healed like in a couple days. I mean, he had to battle with infection and fever, but uh, by the time he wakes up, the wound is completely healed over. And then that Temple has the ability to take on like other people's like to jump almost from body to body. It feels like he was. There's one scene where he's like going through the deck of a ship and he's like killing people, and like he would basically, as he killed a person, he would take on their body and move on to the next one, and almost body jumping. I can't. There was a movie, can't remember what it was. I think it had Denzel Washington though, where the villain would jump bodies like that. This is back in probably the late '90s, back when I actually watched about every film that was put out pre having children. So, but look, for me, it was okay. I mean, there was nothing wrong with this book, but there was nothing that I mean, that I necessarily loved. I mean, the novellas are weird. Like novellas, some of them just, I don't know. For me anyway, it feels like there's not really an in between. It feels like a novella is either just like meh, or a novella is like, wow, I can't believe you did that much with 80 pages or whatever. But for me, this one, I mean, I don't want to say it was meh, but it was just okay. I gave it 2 stars. I have read some other Tim Lebbon works. I'm really kind of drawing a blank on what those are. I want to say maybe The Face. I know that was one of the leisure horror paperbacks way back in the day. I, I want to say there was one recently of his that I read that I really liked, but it has escaped my memory. So this is Pieces of Hate, Tim Lebbon, 2 stars for me. Well read beard. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.